The one story that I have seen in the past few years that I was just like, I can't go there. That's just flat earth stuff, is the Brigitte Macron, Emmanuel Macron, President of France's wife, was accused first by French journalists and then by my friend Candace Owens, who's one of the nicest people I've ever met, actually.
Yeah, she's
very
incredible.
smart.
She's incredible.
She and everyone's always, Candace Owens a hater. Candace Owens is the opposite of a hater, but she's a very kind person. But anyway, but she comes out and she's like, I will wager my professional credibility on the claim that Macron's wife is actually a man. And I was like, oh, Candace Owens, I love you, but I think this is too crazy.
Yeah.
And then it turns out she's right.
Yeah.
What is so? Can you just explain? My mind is blown.
Well, my wife has been, by the way, the Candace Owens pieces on this are phenomenal. And so I'll be sitting there, and my wife, I'm like, what are you watching? She's like, I'm watching Candace Owens' whole deep dive on this. So let's give credit, I'm giving full credit to Candace Owens on this for really opening this story up from the French journalists who first broke it and then were, I think, like ostracized or basically told not to report it. So that, yeah, I mean, he's a groomer. So, like, I mean, the fact that Emmanuel Macron was a child and this man takes him under his wing and is a groomer, uses the identity of another human being. I mean, I'm definitely shortening the story in all of these ways, but I don't know the full details the way that Candace does for sure. But Brigitte Macron is a man who groomed Emmanuel Macron, and in their, I mean, the amazing thing to me is the French portrait that they have, the presidential portrait or whatever. In the background, you can see like a pedophile book that's painted in on purpose. Like you can't make this stuff up.
What?
The official like French portrait painting. There's in the background of it, you can see like basically a pedophile book that's been painted in on purpose. And other paintings that Brigitte Macron was famous for having around in the palace. All these really awful looking things that, you've got pictures of a barn here. Like the stuff that Brigitte likes to hang around is like pedophilia stuff on the walls. So it's incredibly crazy.
What is it with pedophilia? I mean, pedophilia is one of those things that it's like, it's so, and I can relate to almost any sin, but I just want to be clear. I'm not being holier than thou. I mean, I've done bad things. I have had, bad impulses. I can kind of understand why people get pissed and shoot each other or steal or, I don't, but I get it.
Road rage. Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
There, but for the grace of God. That's how I sometimes feel. But pedophilia? Like that's something that I can honestly say with a clean conscience never even occurred to me. That's like so.
Yeah, I can say it too.
What is that?
And to me, and what's it's on its surface is it's absolutely terrible. But then when you go even a layer deeper, when there's a whole mechanism protecting these people who are all actively involved in it, in Hollywood, in Washington, D.C., funneling. I mean, again, not to go back to it, but it's all part of this operation with these elites who, when you have these children, for instance, in Guatemala, 197,000 Guatemalan children that were funneled into the United States and were then funneled to be used in the sex trade in the United States. The United States is the largest purveyor of child sex trafficking in the world. The world. And we bring more children into the United States and are used for sex slavery than any country in the world. When Trump was asked, where are these children, these 300, 400,000 children, and Trump said, I think they're dead. Trump was honest about it. They are. They're used and abused and thrown away. And so when you have people like Brigitte Macron who are like groomers of children, it makes sense that they would be protected.
It does.
And these elite circles. It's incredibly disgusting.
Boy, I never thought I would get to a place where I would like nod as somebody said our elites are trafficking children for pedophilia. But actually, once you see what's going on, it makes sense because what is pedophilia? It's a spiritual, it's not... I do think that it's more than just a diseased sexual impulse, though it's clearly that.
Yeah.
But it's the desire to defile purity.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I think the appeal is you take a child who is pure, physically untouched, not corrupted by adult desire, and you destroy that.
Yeah.
And that's the charge. And that's a spiritual thing. That's like child sacrifice. It's like, which is ubiquitous.
And by the way,
world.
it's still happening. I mean, it's just, to me, it's just part of the same thing.
Not all sleep aids are made by pharmaceutical companies. You probably heard about 8 Sleep by now. They developed the country's most innovative products for sleep. Almost everybody in our office uses something they make called the pod, and they love it. And there's a reason that professional athletes and lots of other smart people do too. You add the pod to your mattress like a mattress cover, and it helps you get a better night's sleep and fill with vitality at the start of each day, in an intimidating way almost. It's amazing. How does it do it? Well, it uses advanced technology to track your sleep and automatically adjust the temperature of your side of the bed to what's perfect for sleep. And temperature makes all the difference. It's backed by over 600 million hours of data. They've also used those insights to create their new product, Sleep Elixir, to help you get quiet before you go to bed, fall asleep faster, and stay knocked out longer. No grogginess, no weird side effects, just better deep sleep. So if you're ready to take sleep and recovery to the next level, go to 8sleep.com/Tucker to get $350 off your Pod 4 Ultra full refund for 30 days if you don't love it. It works.
It's the child sex trafficking, and then they're killing off of the children. And I mean, I've spoken to sources who've witnessed it firsthand, who actually used to be a part of it and didn't know they were a part of it, out of Texas, and flying these children from these facilities in Texas and Abbott's backyard to different parts of the country. Oh, what about so you're flying them to where? Oh, we don't really know. They say that but it's just wealthy people's homes. And do you check up on them? We're supposed to do a wellness check, but we don't really do that. And if we do, it's just like a phone call. And if they don't even answer their phone, that's considered the wellness check on the child. So the NGOs responsible for facilitating the death and sex trafficking of these children across the United States into rich homes in Miami, rich homes in Orlando, rich homes in Tennessee, rich homes in Washington, D.C. Are you the father of it? No, no relation whatsoever to these children. So when we hear the liberals crying about, you're separating children from their families at the border, those aren't the fathers. They bring these children across the border. They've got like a name tag stuck on them. That's not the father. You mean the child that he's holding that's drugged? You mean the coyote that's holding that child? That child is drugged, and you can't even ask the child what's your father's name, because that person was brought all the way up from Guatemala 3 weeks ago and has been drugged the entire time, can't speak and is slurring the words. Like, this is happening in the United States, and the United States is facilitating it. It's without a doubt, it's facilitating it. And these NGOs had been receiving lots of money from USAID and others, and it's been happening right under the nose of the Biden administration and under Alejandro Mayorkas, who facilitated all of it and allowed it to happen. And when was confronted about it, told us that our borders were secure. Really? Okay. Hundreds of thousands of children that just gone missing in the United States. And I get so frustrated because people compartmentalize this story. Like, they're happy to talk about Doge, right, which is great. They're happy to talk about other things. But I would love to see, like, the president of the United States or J.D. Vance, like, get up during a State of the Union and say, we've uncovered something really dark and we're going to put an end to it. And this is what we've uncovered.
We can't even get the Epstein tapes.
Yeah.
Not just the files, but they're videotapes. And where are they?
Right. Terabytes of videos from Epstein's home in New York and his island.
Yes, in his ranch in New Mexico. Yeah.
So, and I know from talking to FBI agents that, in fact, those, or former FBI, that a lot of that would have been housed on separate servers. So when we heard stories about things being destroyed over the past few weeks, that those servers, which weren't tied to the internet, were individual servers that had terabytes of video data on it. Was that what was being destroyed? Who ordered that? Who ordered the destruction of those hard drives, those servers?
Probably the same people who got into the most secure wing of a secure federal detention facility in Manhattan and murdered the guy.
Right.
As the guards slept. So probably those people.
Probably,
because anybody who could do that, can't even guess as to who it was, but has a lot of power. Like that's actual power. You can murder someone in his cell in a federal detention facility.
Oh, yeah.
You have power. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe to it. And by the way, you can hit the little bell on there and get notifications every time we produce a video. We hope you'll do that also.